It's Monday, the 22nd of March, and I have with me Dr. Mary Milroy and Mayor Nathan Johnson. I'm Amy Leone. I'm the city manager. We're the voting members of the health board, and then I have ex officios joining us: City Attorney Ross Denherter, Community Development Director Dave Mingo, Commander Jason Foote, and Community Development Manager Brad Bees. And I don't have anything other to talk about other than the metrics, which I just was able to email you all here before our meeting. Brad, are you able to, well, these guys are ahead of me all the time. So if everyone just wants to take a look, and Brad, you might want to chime in a little bit here, since you did talk to Liz and put together some information on the vaccines metric, but we'll go through the other two goals first, being the active cases. You see here today, we're up 64 active cases. That's moving the wrong direction, folks, for everyone. I think they've changed our status on the spread at the state level. So we've regressed a little bit there. That might be a nature of people relaxing protocol a little bit, or it might just be an ebb and flow that we're going to see for a while, but we should all be mindful of that. And hopefully we can get back down under where we were. One of our staff folks, Dwayne Johnson, noted today that we haven't been this high in active case numbers since January. So we don't want to swing back the other way here. We want to turn that around. Hospitalizations, we're only at 1 hospitalization with complications from COVID-19, according to Avera Sacred Heart today. So that's really great. Now our Cheerio, our vaccine Cheerio, is looking better, our graph here. But I'm going to have Brad explain a little bit, because we don't know that we have even all the information that we want in it. We don't think we have everything reported here, and I'll let him explain why.
Again, credit to Dwayne, who noticed that the state dashboard is now breaking out information about vaccines by type that we hadn't seen before, or at least we hadn't noticed that it was doing that up until very recently. And with those numbers, we noticed that the Johnson & Johnson are showing up in the 1 dose, or it appears that they're showing up in the 1 dose, which makes sense because it's 1 dose. But our chart, as it shows up here, is sort of set up assuming that 2 doses means a complete vaccination. So we might look at adjusting the way this chart displays information to show something like, series complete or fully vaccinated versus partial series, or something, because we're comparing a little bit apples to oranges when we're talking about 1 shot versus 2. Here right now, though, that number is just over 100, I believe, in the thousands of doses we're dealing with. So even if we made the adjustment today, you wouldn't see the graph change in any appreciable sort of way, but it is something we want to look at over time. And with that more detailed information, I did reach out to see, because there was a question. We know that the IHS and the VA vaccinations are not broken out by county. There was still kind of a question mark about whether the retail pharmacy ones were. And in talking with Liz at Avera Sacred Heart Hospital, she doesn't think they are. It sort of doesn't look like the numbers would be large enough to be incorporating those. So at this point, we don't think they are, but I can't say with absolute certainty. But it doesn't look like they're in there, and Liz would agree with that.
So the number is only to look better, though. I mean, this would only look better in that case. So we're still doing, I think, well when it comes to vaccine and vaccine administration. And they've started Group 1E today, and that's the critical infrastructure workers. And so I believe that will be one of the larger groups that they've undertaken so far. And I think that that's sort of the last tier when it comes to who would be left before we get into general population. So that's a very good sign. My opinion is that there isn't any recommendations for the commission to act on this evening, other than for them to know the information about our case numbers going up a little bit, and then to encourage folks to, again, get that vaccine when they're able to, when they're eligible, and continue with our protocol. But health board members, is there anything, observations you would like to make, or anything you think we should be alerting the city commission to?
Yes, I don't have any new recommendations other than I'm certainly encouraged with the vaccination numbers. That's very encouraging. It is concerning that the Yankton numbers have gone up, and that we're now reclassified as an area of substantial spread. And so knowing that in a short while we have a holiday coming, that I just would urge people again to, we're not, the end's in sight, but we're not out of the woods. And so keep at the safety precautions, wear your mask, distance, and certainly get your vaccine as soon as you're eligible. So, but other than that, other than strongly encouraging people to continue safety precautions, I think I don't have a recommendation for the commission.
Yeah, hopefully, since it sounds like the majority of I think the vast majority of our most vulnerable population has been vaccinated now. Hopefully we don't see as big of a jump in our hospitalization rate as a result of this increase in numbers. So I'm optimistic about that, but you just never know.
Thank you. Health board members, any observations that you have? Ross, let's start with you, or anything you'd like to add.
One thing I think we want to be mindful of, there's always a pretty good delay. My recollection from last fall is if we see our numbers start to go up, hospitalizations are on like a 10 to 14 day delay. So I'm also comforted that our numbers haven't spiked for hospitalizations, but there's kind of a part of me that kind of fears that we just haven't seen it yet. But I'm also hoping that the vaccine numbers are climbing to a point that even those who might have had a single dose of a vaccine, are maybe going to be able to avoid hospitalization, for instance, that people won't get as sick. Got my fingers crossed, but I just want us to be mindful of that delay, which makes that metric less helpful for right now, because we're seeing 10 days ago.
That's a good point, Ross. Thank you. Commander Foote, anything you'd like to add, or that your people are experiencing on with the public?
No, there's nothing that's really changed from the police department standpoint, so we're still moving forward as normal.
Mr. Bees, anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing more from me.
How about you, Dave?
Nothing new from me. I think we've covered everything.
Thank you, Dave. I will say that, we are moving into time of a city election. We have plans for, the election to make sure we're using protocol that's COVID-19 friendly. However, there is absentee voting available now if folks are wanting to have less of a crowd on actual election day. So that's available to them. We're going to be making some changes likely to our internal protocol on access at our facilities, and we're sure that other people are doing the same thing too, with that information in mind that we know. So I think we just have to keep watching our situation and see where that scale tips and how far we go, and before we step back to whatever a new normal situation is. So we're keeping an eye on that. I'll share these metrics with the city commission, see if they have any other work for us to do. But I think for now, it's just to continue to touch base, and let's hope that this is just a little oddity in our case numbers, and that we go back the other direction. So with no motions being made today, I guess I will look for a motion to adjourn. We'll plan for 2 o'clock next time.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you very much. We will
Okay.
see you next Monday, which will be the 29th at 2
29th.
p.m.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye all.